기실라 운수 쉬초같이 터잖아. 토마델라 세디지 겹네 주는 콘서트 좀 쳐기 구바 돈을 좀 붙여라고 숨 그장 온도 땅에 안트링데 나랑소다 베갸로 니동갸다 시비시고 추룰다위 따체 고체 따갸가 페요라 따체와주 차디도 아니 찔로 니동 니상이 다우스베체 쭉직 레사파상게다 데네 파슈바 임베는 아주딜레다 아니 데 산이델라 슝이 넘버 랭게 창말라 공도딜레 슈에니 트링기 가서 주시소디 딩야라타 탈람토라 세다슈바 시송기 아니 찌노 혼자 경고 좀 초기 투게를 총배 담자시 다 단다기 뒤니망아이 토라 오네 다 마홍을 숨 세네다 나랑조다 렘부시고 송샤바기 딘데지다 투게 담자시디 내가 침보다 아니 개 침보제 차대와 인상 지용기 투게 담자시 마킹게 요 말에디 아니 캠바섬님 말이고 같이 나랑조 니레니레 단다기 뒤즈에들라 냠레 칸데스낭 고유에메 코르단 라글렌 칸데스 다른 땅고메 코르라 아니 나랑조데 청아기 다치 나 슈녜기다 제 갑돌라 마시바체 아니 단다 제코 고바 김세 망볼라 세네 아니 단다가서 저는 호사장을 좀 초이지 구유승규 수르바 아니 고르베 기시 도지담들라 초다 되네 벽이 델리 벽이 강배 겐지 단다 레토바 차데 요래 아니 표현에 단다 겹제 탕으로 붙이 곰베기다 츠마 드말 하강기다 츠마 로베 까몬줄라 초 어딘지 딘디 슈유 아니 나랑조다 다 믹베 레웨바 아니 다 로나 충중 오스트레일리아 네슈 아니 따군다 다 로충주 슈레 로충이라 페베 딘디 주네라 딘디 슈유 디토라 기실라 쯔베 콘나 바니기 까마총아 총아링 오틴데지 다 캠브롬시기 투게 탐제 모드 도르드다 아니티 냠레 라글렌 따르초 코라 오틴데지 수야다 당보 숭켄데 니 다기 슈바나시 그룹에 기시들지 담줄라 초게 인게토네 수야체 니니바디 벽여토네 딘지 주나나라 숭시나체 숨바디 페유 단다 드말라하기 츠마 아니 로병원출라게 오틴데지게 방림지 디기여 다 지용게 단다 딱 모조레리 슈구고레디 기실라게 다 마킹게 할람 요마데 다 로나 춘주 임바이나니 네즈 카가레 지용기 기실라게 다 제남 슈나에데 로규 독두시 단다 모데브나라 다이 차조 직종외라 게바디 파지 슈유 다 기실라 제 개인기 토는 이슈고요 말다 개바 준부 상보 원의 콘서트가 있다 구유승규 로마 난용케 콘서트기 공식하래 차단한다 다 경화 요딩에 된지 개병부 차대 요래 콘서트기 가래가 남아 임바네 대대신 다 지구 난용게다 기부 담바지 차대 요래 대점도 마세 안 단다 콘서트기 있다 배제 투게 탐제 시바 다 나랑서다 야가르기 나베릭숑 디 내가 첨보지 차대바 인상 디톨라 탄다 다 딜리라 슈네 야가 쪼보기베다 치게 유토가 대나니냐 나슈나바 솔라 아니치 안가서 낭베 따두붕어를 취해다 이랭이래 기타 룽하이 숨기 쫄람 토라 간데가테스 난고요메 고 기실라기 탄다 롭진난다 나심바레 아니 나바서 키시 기실라기 로규 게바지 다 캔도 여바임바이나 니 탄다 모데브지 모쇼 페이스북 페이지 나라 샤요 인지토네 어딘데지 샤요 어디네마 시로나 슈에니 데네 나랑등에 뒤즈셔다 레모고베 토네 아니 기실라기 인게 토네체 까마종아 아니 니바데 텐지주나라기 벽에 토네체 숨바디 아니 즈말로병원출라기 어딘데지 네팔리 게 토네니 아니 디 두베 제라 닝랑소타 투즈 망아디 까마종아이 딩냐라 두베 임바이나 조딩랑기 미유디 아니 랑조 치기 유족할 슈겐 소 직나슈 조 소라 또 조민이 슈구유 아니 레림 코랑 마우스에 생기기 레림스네 데네지 딕딕이 따디 레림 두바지 차기유 나와르라 테마 찍니서 데네지 슈구유 아니 데나라다 인지계나 벽에 네팔리게 송바 슈고에디 아니다 치유 두카라 차롱 난케인지 부고서다 벽에 따 신기 말해블라나 경기 레디나 벽에데 인증이 두르바인바이나 인지계라 창바 슈크체와 어딘데 여바 인상 아니다 인지계 토네 아니 파 티당 탑라케바데 망부시부 요레데 대나네냐 아니 기실라라 겸주 슈바 시송기 기실라게 된데 인더미 달라 책심메바 된데 시시나와텔라 아니 nga랑 초바다 nga랑 창미 잡슈니 기실라라 가진라미도 체스니 슈에니 된데 송자니 기실라 인게 토네 된데지 운존나로나 가진체
도마등의 표현은 특징이 슈인 아니 도마데 단의 기시 레스토지라 단의 군협ling 남배 추소 기 gen진 기 대안에 단의 년워신 망부시열에 된주团에 아니 기실라기 차례 나바당 따투고 슈게셰 베지베기 도알라 공부들이 셰셰 디는 게 여바디 이 토난 주촌소 아니 대충제 다 기실라기 수행들을 잘 남비네 인여바도 단에 쉬어다 대슈유 아니 단에디 기실라 고기를 전에 단다 수수 주소지열에 디 고기를 전에 딘제기 랭위를 납치고 되는다고 인 타번 지수야 슈유 다들 지셔야 되는 이것들라 아니 알레 삼고 정도는 지게 두 개 던데 시디 인지나 지 시어신지 숨배가다 나서는 때시 디 벽에 나지 인로 지나서버리 진짜 중소 디네 아니 기술하기 제라 벽에 나리 여버시 네벌리게 나리 여버시 자산도 신 여비 인식 되지 디 tinjoso 다른 섬스탄들이 양 초진들샤 디 겸름식이 되나 되게 건수 퓨리소를 생각하시 나서 다이캔스 베베나는 되기 롬니에디 인치미지가 고쳐셔오레스 심부셔오레스 되지가나시 다디아니 디 가수레 디 벽에나 로는 그냥 주 고마토네 인지나 로야레스 온드레지는 뭐지 가나서 당연하죠 그냥 지 가수레 벽에도 말아버시 계집미지기샤 아냠도래야 지 나운동이 차네 양 인지게나다 지 코드초에는 인지는 게나다 야지 네버리게는 코드초에는 네버리게나다 디 프렌치 게나 코드초에는 프렌치 게나 게가리나 코드초에베니 디지 하는 수 마케드 말아치고 베기즘지르샤 제네 다기시라단 두개 텐데 시시 대놈을 인타버든 게 지수한 수유 온도시 Okay, today at the request of Geshe Dorji, the founding director of the Shide Kunjabling Buddhist Center, New York, I'm being requested to talk on the four commitments of His Holiness in English. Of course, it's for 15 minutes. First of all, I would like to share with you that today, the world is going through enormous crisis. For example, look at the invasion of Ukraine by Russians. And even the Russians, I have friends in Russia, and even they feel so sad that this what is happening. It is all because of the wrong thinking, wrong thought process of one individual leader. So therefore, it is so important for us that the world, if possible, that all the world leaders, they learn from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, pertaining to the four commitments of His Holiness. So, for that matter, what we can do is at least we learn what these four commitments are, and on that basis, see how we can disseminate chauvinism. It has been they have been so chauvinistic about their country or their principle, or who are extremely self-centered to retain their position. So that's what we see so prevalent in the world today. So just imagine that the world is filled with the leaders like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The world is going to be very different. All these unnecessary conflicts will stop, and all this unnecessary, say, the devices, corruptions, all this stuff, and people will see a very different, say, the level of happiness and joy, peace on the earth. So, of the four commitments, the first let me enumerate what these four are. The first one is promotion of human values. Number two, promotion of religious harmony. Number three, promotion of the awareness of the Tibetan cause, Tibetan culture, and the Tibetan environment. And number four, preservation of the rich and the Indian, the civilizational philosophy. These four. The first one, the promotion of human values. His Holiness, in his own words, that first of the first of all, as for him, while he has many identities, the first identity that he holds is that he's a human being. So as a human being, he has a moral responsibility to promote the human values, where human beings can live in harmony, peace, and with the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, along with ecology, sound ecology. So for that matter, the basic human values, irrespective of what religion that you're following, or irrespective of what ethnicity you belong to, um, there are human values which are common to all across humanity. For example, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, contentment, and a genuine feeling of love and affection, a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood, a sense of dialogue. These are all universal values. And if anybody embraces these qualities, if anybody believes in these qualities, spreads these qualities in others, or embrace these qualities in yourself, no doubt the person is going to be very happy, and a person can expand the circle of one's joy towards your family members and towards your neighborhood, towards your community, towards the nation and the globe. So with this in mind, His Holiness proposes three means by which to promote the human values. One, His Holiness is totally pertaining to the human values. He's totally not in favor of the promoting the human values from religious angle. He's not in favor of that. It must be done in three ways. Number one, on the basis of the common experience, and number two, on the basis of common sense, and number three, on the basis of the scientific findings. So these three are the basic principles through which we can expect to promote the human values. So you may be wondering as to what these are: common sense, common experience, and the scientific findings. First, common sense. Common sense is on this refers to this the quality of our intelligence, that we need to have the intelligence. We need to, I say, create this awareness that this intelligence has to be the encouraged or enhanced in ways of knowing that by being loving, caring, and embracing, believing in the concept of dialogue, we can see the brotherhood, we can see the peace actually happening. It's all common sense based. Whereas believing in the chauvinistic, the expansionism, believing in individualistic, the principles. So this will only bring about the self-torture, the tormenting one's own the state of mind. So this is the common sense that more loving you are, more happy you become, and everybody seeks happiness. I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama say, I think about like 2008, His Holiness was invited to give a public address in Delhi University. So at the end of the address, during the questions session, there was one young girl who asked His Holiness, what is the purpose of life? Yet His Holiness very clearly indicated that we live in hope and we hope for happiness. So the genuine happiness is the purpose of life, and the the how mature you are, how evolved you are, is all determined by so whether or not you embrace the causes of the happiness. And what constitutes the cause of happiness? Very simple: to have a common sense that to live in the spirit of dialogue, love and affection, contentment, and the self-discipline and so forth. These are the points which help us to bring about happiness. So this is in short about promoting human values. Number two is religious, promoting religious harmony. So for that matter, the His Holiness again identifies himself as a religious person, and he has moral responsibility to promote religious harmony. So he identifies four means to bring about religious harmony. Oftentimes, more so than the secular approaches, sometimes religious conflicts can create so much of pain on the humanity. So for that matter, religious harmony is something which needs to be encouraged to a great extent. So the four means by which to do so. The first one was convening conferences, meetings of the scholars of the different religions. From this, what is expected is to learn, say, what are the commonalities among different religions, and what are the differences. And knowing the differences should not be the factor for one to say divide the community. This must be a factor to see the richness, the diversity, say the harmony in diversity. So that is what is expected. For example, to go to a garden, if you see only one flower everywhere, there's not a beautiful garden. Beautiful garden means, by the very definition, a garden with the plurality of flowers. So likewise, plurality of thought processes, and the cognitive thought processes, philosophy, psychology. These are all the indications of the richness of the human civilization. So this should bring about the richness, the pride of the humanity, that we have multiple thought processes. Whichever suits the one individual, you can pick that up and practice it for your own welfare. So this is extremely wise approach. Number two is convening conferences, meetings of the practitioners of the different religions. So from there, we see that the practitioners, they practice love and affection. They practice generosity. They practice ethical discipline. They practice the principle of, say, the trust in humanity and so forth. When you see people, the practitioners from other religions, then you say, oh, these are the same values which we practice, which are being so encouraged by the Buddha, Lord Jesus Christ, Ram, Prophet Muhammad, and Mahavir, then the Zoroaster, Baha'u'llah, and then the Abraham, and so forth, and the Guru Nanak, and so forth. Then we see that, oh, in terms of the core of the religious beliefs, we're all just one. You can see that through the meeting of the practitioners of the different religions. There's number two. Number three is convening, say, international conferences like RCC meeting, which was once organized by Pope John Paul II. So where all the religious leaders come together, and they hold their hands together and say the one word in common, that is peace in the world. So all the followers of these different religions, they will see that, oh, look, our religious head is also there, and she's embracing his hands with all the other religious leaders, and they're all raising the same voice: peace, no wars. So this, the devotees of the different religions will gain a conviction that, look at our leader. So this is how I should approach. So naturally, there's going to be harmony among the different religious traditions. Then finally, that's the that group pilgrimage, that the people from the different religions, they come together, form a federation, and then they go to the different religious sites, the mosque, church, Buddhist temple, Hindu temple, Sikh Gurudwara, synagogue of the Jew, and the temple of the Jainism, then the Baha'i, and so forth. You go to all these representing the different religions. They go to all the different, I say, the religious shrines and do meditation, common meditation. So these will encourage that, yes, there are actually blessings there from all these different religions. And then the people will see that we're actually one. We're able to go to every religious science ourselves to collectively and to respect the other tradition. This is so powerful and extremely meaningful way by which to bring the humanity together on the religious ground. So these are 4 means. And then the number 3 is about the promotion of the awareness of the Tibetan culture, Tibetan, the fragile ecology, and so forth. For that, the Tibet, the geographical location of Tibet is such that it is referred to as the roof of the world. So in which case, that if that is neglected, the whole world is going to suffer, geographically speaking, ecologically speaking. So therefore, the Tibetan, the creating the awareness as to how fragile the Tibetan environment is, that the massive deforestation and the diverting the course of the river of Tibet and so forth should be stopped for the welfare of the whole world. And then finally, promoting the ancient Indian civilizational, the philosophy. So primarily the Nalanda tradition. Given that Einstein's relativity theory, although Einstein was Jewish, but the relativity theory which he came up with, this is not seen as Jewish. This is the legacy. This is the gift for the whole world. So anybody can embrace it. Likewise, although these values such as the concept of interdependency, concept of the universal love, and so forth, although they come from Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist psychology and the mapping of the human mind. So they all come from the Nalanda tradition, but they are the legacies for the world. And just as in the world today, for example, in India, when some psychology comes from the West, here in India, universities, they really cherish it as something, a great legacy for the world. But this is already there, actually developed in India. The rich Nalanda tradition, rich ancient Indian philosophy is already there. And the only if one is able to create this awareness that this is already existing here, much, much, much richer than what today the West, they come up with. The West, they're actually very strong in modern science, but the philosophy and psychology is from the Asia, particularly the ancient Indian philosophy. So that must be, and this combined with the modern science, which is the legacy of the Western world, combined together, has the tremendous potential to bring about the human flourishing, for the reason that human beings were constituted 2 parts, the body and the mind. For the body, we need the modern science. For the mind, we need the ancient Indian philosophical traditions. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you so much.
Then tanda national number so kesi tiwa yoba imbayina jela ngazo chasan drubni ani tanda tiwa yelerim dine sha yu number so tanda gishilagi kanka number din number so tula nyeban nani ani kane nangoyeme ani kare tola ngaranzo dolin shugoyeme dine tola jaba narona